Welcome to Jackson Reviews, the channel where I go through the best and worst horror movies so you don't have to. I'm Sam Jackson and today we're going to be going through April Fool's Day, released in 1986. Continuing the holiday-themed genre in slasher movies with stuff like Halloween, Friday the 13th and Black Christmas, April Fool's Day was created by Friday the 13th Part 3 and Part 4 producer Frank Mancuso Jr. Although the film was kind of brought with mixed results and a mixed box office, it was kind of new for the slasher genre. There's just many things about this movie that I'll go through throughout this review which are very familiar but very different. It was a little bit Screamish prior to Scream, but not quite to that level of self-parody yet. Also have to mention it starred Amy Steele, who played Ginny in Friday the 13th Part 2, so this film has so many roots in Friday the 13th, it's quite funny. But since this is the start of my series where I go through the originals and the remakes, it did have a 2008 remake which was very loosely following it, also made by Frank. That one wasn't very good. But with all that out of the way, let's review the original April Fool's Day. The movie begins with a kind of found footage style, with some slightly dull exposition, and we meet the main protagonist, Muffy. She's cleaning up a basement until finding a jack-in-the-box with a flashback inside. Already the movie's tone is very apparent, with much brighter colours and a much happier tone with the music. Hold your horses. The flashback ends with a jump scare because jack-in-the-boxes are assholes. Then we meet the rest of the main cast. We're introduced to the girls, first with Kit, played by Amy Steele, the quiet and calm Nan, and the tough girl Nikki. We then meet the boys, including Chaz the smooth talker, jock guy Arch, and Skip, who's Muffy's cousin. The ferry arrives to take the group to Muffy's Island just as two final characters arrive. Rob, played by an actor who hasn't aged in 7 years thanks to the leprechaun, and Harvey the Texan. We get a really long, drawn-out boat ride where the characters try to get to know each other. Then we get a fake-out injury, followed by a real injury where the deckhand Buck is hit by the boat and his eye is ripped out in a very dark but brilliant moment. The group leave the ferry and meet up with a constable, as Muffy meets up with them as well. We get some actually good character moments where the group feel the impact of what just happened. They get to Muffy's house and we get a fun tour of where all the characters are definitely going to die. There's some bonding, and then we get the only part of this film which is really known, where the group plays some small pranks on each other at the dinner table. Apart from Skip, who is still shocked over what happened. After some kind speeches from everyone and another prank, followed by even more character development with a pretty decent bromance going on, we get some exposition through newspapers, followed by a bunch more small pranks happening with some dark comedy scenes. Arch lets out his inner Weinstein and Skip heads to the boathouse, where we get a decent jump scare and then he's killed off screen. First character to go 35 minutes into this 90-minute movie. Muffy is seen acting quite weirdly after this and the group continue bonding, when Kit and Rob sneak off to have sex. Their fun is interrupted by Skip when his body interrupts him but drifts away before they can figure out he's dead. They tell the others and the group go searching and Nan suspects Muffy is up to something. Whilst looking for Skip in the woods, Arch is pulled up by a rope trap and just before a snake can bite him, the killer shows up to do another off-screen kill. Muffy keeps acting weirdly as the group realise Arch is now missing, and they're instantly promoted to smartest slasher victims as they finally call the police, but sadly to no avail. The water is then cut off as Muffy continues acting crazy, and at least this time it's out of worry. Nikki and Harvey head out to the well to sort out the water issue. After losing the bucket and torch, Nikki goes into the well to retrieve them, but she falls into the water and finds several severed heads of Arch and Skip, and then also finds Nan's body, who was apparently killed off screen, I guess. The surviving group get a call from the constable, who reveals that the killer can't be Buck since he's still stuck in the hospital. The call ends with the constable heading out to meet them and the group start locking up the windows and doors, and Kit finds an old photo of Muffy, with a lookalike stood next to her. Muffy appears acting the weirdest so far, and Harvey shows the audience he's got a gun. The group discuss Muffy's behaviour and her weird pranks, but Kit gets sick of everyone blaming her, and Muffy appears stating that she's going to bed. The group then split up due to the rising tensions. Nikki decides enough is enough, and after some weird dialogue with Chaz trying to calm her down before she wanders off to grab some clothes. When she returns though, she finds Chaz dead with his dick cut off, and the killer comes up behind her for an off-screen kill. Now following Kit and Rob. Rob mentions that the constable may know that something's off with Muffy, and then Kit notices a bunch of old creepy dolls lined up with each doll representing each of the dead characters and the way they died. Rob and Kit accidentally split up and easily the scariest moment of the film goes down, with Kit trapped alone in this room having to find an alternative way out, and Rob appears in a fun jump scare. The two then do a joint survivor run, finding Nikki, Chaz and now Harvey's body as they run outside to meet up with the constable. They find his boat with a letter inside that someone on with the surname St. John. All hail York St. John University. With this person who's called St. John, who shares the same surname as Muffy, escaping from a mental institution. The two head back to the house and sneak in through the basement window, finding a trail of blood leading to a furnace with Muffy's clothes inside. We get some decent tense scenes, and Kit figures out that Muffy had a twin sister called Buffy. Buffy, hey hey. We find Muffy's severed head, making Ginny Steele once again the final girl in the slasher movie. Good thing, she's pretty awesome, huh? Then Buffy tries to get inside the house with a knife. Rob finds a key to the boat as Kit is trapped with Buffy. She tries to talk her down but to no avail, and after a tense chase sequence where Kit tries to do a Ginny by manipulating her, but Buffy was never a fan of the Friday the 13th movies and tries to stab her. Kit falls into a room where all the dead characters are stood there and what? Boom! Plot twist! It's all been a huge prank. It's revealed that Muffy plans to turn the house into a horror-themed country inn. With each of the group members being killed off, they got told about the plan and were asked to go along with it. Buck's revealed to be an ex-special effects artist, with Skip actually being her brother and the constable being her uncle. There's a party with everyone but Nan involved, and the film ends with a drunk Muffy going up to her room to find a gift. It's a Jack-in-the-Box from the start of the movie, and as she's turning it in a creepy way, Nan suddenly comes up behind Muffy and slits her fucking throat! But it's another fake out. The two bond a little bit, ending with a Jack-in-the-Box winking at the audience. And that's it. Weird as hell, and a very fun but also off addition to the slasher genre, I guess. And even though the ending was a little bit predictable, especially when you got into the second half after quite a few of the characters were killed completely off screen, I honestly quite enjoyed this film, even if it was a bit cheesy. Production values for it are really good, but you'd expect that from a $5 million movie, especially when it's just a slasher. The directing's done quite well, and honestly, in those sort of started to figure out around about the hour mark, I was still quite shocked to see that we actually went for this no one actually died thing, and I thought it was pretty cool and ballsy of them, especially since by this point there's so many other slasher movies, and none of them had actually done this yet. The characters, I love all of them. The thing that that you're going to see in the next video for the remake is that even though they're all meant to be like posh and quite rich, all of the ones in this movie, even though they're posh and rich, they're kind of parodies of the posh and rich, and even the characters are very self-aware to how rich they are and kind of take the piss. None of them also seem like bad people, they all seem like quite nice. A couple of the guys are a bit creepy, but they're all Weinsteins anyway, so well, I guess. Honestly though, it's just really nice to see like some people involved in such a violent franchise as the Friday films join into such a calm, much more collected slasher, even though it's not, is it technically a slasher? I honestly don't know at this point. The writing's quite clever, I liked the actual twist and Muffy's reasons for doing all this, because honestly this is the same kind of shit I'd probably do to my friends if I had enough effort, so I liked all that. And the Muffy Buffy stuff I found funny because it's a little bit parody-ish, kind of taking the piss out of the kind of movies that do that. And even though a lot of the kills were fake, the ones that they kind of half showed with some of the fake stuff, it's quite good. I liked it. I even liked some of the off-screenness being quite ominous and creepy. But anyway, just for the 5 fun facts, Deborah Foreman, who plays Muffy, was originally kind of turned down from the casting, but then she came back a couple of times when they weren't able to find a good replacement for her, and apparently for her second audition she fucking knocked out the park, so well done to her. The cast also met a few days before filming and hung out every single day, just in order to get the good group bond which you see throughout the film, and it is very strong, so kudos to them for trying that. A sequel was planned and it was going to have Nikki and Chaz return. Loved Nikki, and I quite liked Chaz, so I was good with this. Where they basically opened their own, like, little inn, but then all the pranks start happening again, except this time for real, where people are literally dying. Intriguing, and I'm sad that didn't happen. As mentioned earlier, producer Frank, whatever hell his last name is, I really find it difficult to pronounce, and Amy Steele were in previous Friday movies, and even though they weren't in the same ones and didn't work together, they knew each other just from working in the same franchise. It was apparently Frank who actually got Amy Steele the job, so well done to him because she is awesome in both films. The film had 3 endings, 2 of which were filmed and one of them which was only in the scripting phase. One in the script that was in the scripting phase is very similar to the originals, but instead of it being Nan who slit Muffy's throat, it was going to be Skip, and all the other characters were going to come out and laugh and joke at her, similar to how Nan did at the end. It was basically just the ending we got, but on a much bigger scale, and would have probably cost a bit more. One of the filmed endings was one that we obviously saw, and the last one sounds awesome, and I tried to find this, but I really can, and I hope if someone else knows where it is, they'd happily send me it, because it sounds great. Apparently, Muffy's brother Skip has a kind of mental breakdown and decides to kill Muffy as an act of revenge for showing him up or something. And when he tries to kill her, Rob intervenes and accidentally kills him, leading to apparently quite a violent death, which is the reason why it was cut and changed, but I'm intrigued. Send me it. Now overall, did I actually enjoy this film? Yes and no. There was definitely some parts which I thought were a little bit cheesy and cliche, but I also quite enjoyed the film just for that. And even though like this is a slasher movie which literally had no kills and deaths, it was fun. Kind of proving the fact that even though there's a lot of slasher movies which just rely way too much on gore, looking at you, Jason Goes to Hell, this film kind of proved that you didn't need any blood, any gore for it to be entertaining and watchable. Kudos to them for that. Also, just really nice to see Amy Steele have work. She's like such an underrated actress. Like, she's great in Friday Part 2 and she's great in this. I'm sad to not see her in other slashers. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy this, please share to like, share and subscribe, and goodbye.